All right, how's it going, guys? Welcome to the stream. This is Mr. Monk, and we will get started here fairly soon. We are just gonna wait on some people to hop on. Whoop, whoop. Yes, Duke, man, Dasal, you are no longer in this class anymore. You're gonna have to be here. Duke, man, can you change your name so I know who you are? All right, so Um, cool. All right, we got about 18 now. So I'm gonna wait I usually wait a few minutes just to let people hop onto the stream. Just so I'm not like talking to nobody. So what's up, Daniel? Dude, no problem, brother. No problem. That's good, Dasal. Well, Dasal, we'll be doing cognition today, not history of psych, which is what we did at the beginning last year. So, yep. So you're more than welcome to join. So good. All right. Well, we got 25. Let's go. Let's roll. This is good enough. Good enough for me. Okay, so let me real quick just kind of run through what this is going to look like. So on here, basically, I am able to attach or share these windows, and so you will often see that I can share these and show you just the lecture slides that you guys are used to, and the ones that you've seen in class. Um, and so I will kind of jump back and forth between talking about lecture slides and all that. So yes, Sam, there is Sam. If is that you, Sam? Samradia, Sam, if that's you, yes, there is a quiz tomorrow. 3ND. Mr. Monk, will long-term potentiation be on the quiz tomorrow? No. Long-term potentiation will not be on the quiz. Lucky you. So I know that might have hopped on to your why was that on your talking about the hippocampus and stuff. Okay. Yeah, no, it won't be. 3ND also, if you can change your name so I know who you are, that would be fabulous. Okay, sweet. All right. So let's just get rocking and rolling. And let's talk about what we need to talk about today. So, if you guys will recall, we started talking about memory. And let me see if this is actually changing. This is not. Is this not? Okay, this is not. These slides are not changing for you, are they? Let me try this again. Okay. Yeah, those slides weren't changing, so I need to figure out why the heck it's doing that. Let me try this again. Screen share. Screen show. Okay. What's the deal, banana peel? And it shows me moving here, but it doesn't change. Or does it? Why is it not doing that? Okay, well, I've never had this problem before. This usually works just fine. I don't know why it's deciding to be difficult all of a sudden. All right, let me figure. Okay, well, oh, here we go. Okay, now it's working. Okay, for some reason it's working all of a sudden. I haven't changed anything. Okay, so here we go. Let's do this. So, very quickly, when we are. Is it now back to not working again? Let's see if I do this. Nope. Okay, guys. Yeah, sorry. I don't know what the deal is and why it's not doing this. Yes, everything that we have. What's up, Amir? Everything that we've taken notes on this week and last week. So yesterday and last week. So okay. So I am super sorry, guys. This is like working for like 2 seconds and then not working for like most of the time. Let me try a different. This will be my last like little thing that I mess with, and then after that we'll just talk without worrying about it. So you can see this moving here, but whoa. Okay. Okay, I think that's oh, this is driving me crazy. Driving me crazy. Okay. I've got one last thing. One last thing I will do, which is horribly boring, but this might be our only option. Well, I hope everyone's doing good tonight. I hope you guys are staying warm. Hope you guys have had a chance to enjoy this nice weather. I really like the cold, especially seeing as we live in Houston, and so cold does not come too often. You gotta enjoy it when you can. All right, here we go. So we're gonna try looking at this through. Okay, so here are just the lecture notes. This is all the stuff that we talked about. So once again, this is terribly boring and dull to look at, but this is the best that we got at the moment. Um, we'll take a look at what the quizzes look like later. Bobby Wasabi, I don't know who you are. Bobby Wasabi is not really a name. Mizba, what's up? Will there be an FRQ long? No FRQ tomorrow. No FRQ. Bobby Wasabi, I need to know who you are. I'm gonna kick you off because I don't know who you are. Arian, yes. No, there's no FRQ tomorrow. No FRQ. We don't have time because I need to do catch up. Yeah, sorry, Heba. It's gonna be nasty. Yeah, it's all multiple choice. All of my quizzes and assessments and stuff are multiple choice. Nope, there's no essay tomorrow. Hey, Bobby Wasabi, if you do not change your name, you're gonna get booted. So just put you on timeout because you're not listening. Okay, cool. You're welcome, Justin Wynn. All right, let's do this. I'm here to talk about stuff. So, when we are talking about cognition, we have lots of things that we need to cover. This is one of the bigger sections. And so we have lots of like little nuances that we need to look at. So first, I like to think of this as being broken down into three parts. You have your memory section, you have your cognition or like the thinking part, and then you have your language section. And so if you think of so it's broken into those three main pieces. So first, we're looking at the memory section, and so you have here the information processing model. A lot of this stuff, remember, like is super basic. It's just talking um, um, about the like fundamental aspects of what it looks like to like get memories, hold them, retain them, and then later retrieve them. So you have the three-step process: encoding, storage, and retrieval. Encoding is taking information from the outside world, processing it, understanding it, and then you have your storage, and then eventually, hopefully, you'll get your retrieval. You'll be able to hold on to that information and remember it. So remember, think about when we're thinking about encoding, recognize that when this is happening, um, you know, it's something that you need to understand. Like, it needs to be content that you understand. Things, or someone speaking in your language. Like, in order for you to process this information, you need to know what they're talking about. And we kind of use the example of like a really difficult class, and they're talking about all this like crazy mumbo jumbo stuff that you have no idea, you know, what they're talking about, and that can really ruin your ability to hold on to this information. So, storage, just retaining that information, and then retrieval, obviously putting away. So when we're looking at encoding, make sure we know this is automatic or effortful. If it's something that's really difficult, you know, you have to put in a lot of effort for it. You have to think about it. You have to like process, like, okay, what are all these little steps, especially maybe in another language, using that as another example, like, okay, what they say, and you know, you have to move the sentence around if it's something in like Spanish, because the syntax is different from what we're doing. And so you have the noun in front of the adjectives, or you know, difference in verbiage and stuff like that. So that would be effortful, and then automatic is just, you know, picking up this stuff real easy. Okay, so semantically, visually, and acoustically. So once again, when we're coding information, when we're processing it, we can process it by meaning, by its visuals, or by its sound. Oh, can I zoom in? Oh, I got you. I got you. My bad. My bad, Ion. All right, all right. Good call. I don't need this anymore. Can Yink. Okay. Good call, Ion. Good call. All right, how's that? And blink. Okay. Can you read that better, guys? You're welcome. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. Hello, Zohar. Okay, so when we are looking at the different types of processing, we talked about this earlier, just the real simple shallow versus deep. When you're looking at a shallow processing, it's not holding on to the information for long periods of time. You're looking at something like simple repetition. So just knowing, like, okay, this is like, think of this as like flashcards. Like, doing flashcards is gives you shallow processing. Gives you like shallow recall or recollection of terms. And this is the stuff where you take a test, and then afterwards you're like, oh, I don't remember anything that they talked about. Deep processing, once again, takes elaborative rehearsal. It takes more effort connecting uh, topics with other items and kind of bringing it together. It's making concepts meaningful to you so that you can hold on to this information for an extended period of time, and stuff like that. So a couple examples of doing this, or strategies, is using subjective organization or mnemonic devices in order to kind of retain that information for a longer time. Obviously, subjective organization, putting things together in a way that allows you to remember it better, and then mnemonic devices are those different kinds of memory cues that we have. Okay, so next we kind of step into, so we've done really like the encoding process and what that looks like, but now we're going to look at the storage. How do we actually store this information away? How is this held on to? And where are we putting it? So sensory, short term, long term. Long term, super self-explanatory. It's kind of our permanent, never-ending memory storage area. Basically unlimited capacity. Everything that you know how to do, everything that you have learned is there. Now, the thing where people kind of get tripped up is the sensory versus short-term memory. And the way I like to remember it, in the way that I kind of like hold on to this info, is when you're looking at sensory memory, this is all of the things that you sense, all of your vision, all of your sound, or all of your hearing, all of your touch, taste, and whatever the other one is, whatever this other sense is. And you take all smell, and you take all this information, and it's all happening to you all at the same time. And while this is great, this is neat, it is also overwhelming, and it's difficult for you can't remember everything that gets pulled in here. And so in order for you to um, in order for an information to um, move to short-term memory, is you have to be focusing in on the thing. It has to be something that you are looking into or delving into, or paying attention to, because otherwise we would have like memories of just like a zillion things going on. And so this is like really kind of uh, um, keeping it like the sensory memory is just all the stuff, and then the short term memory is like, what am I focusing on, what am I paying attention to, what am I looking at. So Naveen, will echoic memory and iconic memory be on the quiz? No, I'm not worried about that. So yes, Wendy, we'll finish the notes tomorrow in fourth period before we get started, but it'll be like really quick. Hira, I think he said he, yeah. Yep, thank you, Mahir. Good. Okay. So that's sensory, short term, long term. Pretty self explanatory, pretty cut and dry. Just remember a couple of the little nuggets of info on short term memory, like how long we can hold on to the stuff, about 15-20 seconds, and 7 plus or minus 2 items at one time. We also are better at recalling digits than we are letters. So little bits of info. Okay, so explicit versus implicit memory. So remember, this is declarative versus non-declarative. This is talking about long-term memory. Remember, explicit, this is happening in our hippocampus. This is a part of the brain. We'll talk about this later and what that actually means. And these are things that we are paying attention to, consciously aware of, thinking about it. Okay, what is the date of my sister's birthday? Versus implicit, which are things that we are not consciously aware of. And this is processed in the cerebellum, which we'll talk about later. But what that is basically saying is the cerebellum's job is to, it's like our muscle memory, our ability to throw a baseball or to walk or to ride a bike. All of that happens in our cerebellum. And so that's going to be our implicit memory. Mr. Monk, even though you didn't start with the history of psychology, it will still be on the AP exam. Of course it will, Dasal. Of course it will. It will all be on the AP exam. Okay, so retrieval, ability to recall information. Recall, short, is like, there's a difference. Recall versus recognition. Recognition is like you recognize the things that, oh, new subscriber. Oh my gosh, who just subscribed? Kevin Ding, dude. Thank you, Kevin Ding. Thank you for subscribing. I have so many people who subscribe. Thumbs up for subscribers, I guess. Not really, but thank you, Kevin Ding. No, we will not. Bobby Wasabi. All right, I've asked you so many times. Who are you, Bobby Wasabi? Change yo name or get booted. Yo. I'm gonna talk in y'all's lingo. Maybe you'll understand. Bobby Wasabi, you need to tell me. You have 30 seconds to tell me who you are, or you're gone. Gone. All right. Yo. Thank you, Bobby Wasabi. Okay, so what up, Shane? Cough. Cool. All right, Shane, welcome. All right. So next, Herman Ebbinghaus. Remember, be familiar with this graph, be able to talk about it, be able to explain what's going on. There's a question on the quiz on this thing. Pay attention to what it asks. I promise you, a zillion people get it wrong because they don't read the question properly. And if you read the question properly, you'll get it correct. Okay. Eliza, the quiz is it's concepts. We haven't talked really about much of history. History is when I was talking to DeSaul, history is what I usually start the semester with. So it's like history and approaches. So we talk about a bunch of different like psychologists and stuff, and I'm changing things up, so we didn't talk about that. So you don't need to worry about history. Okay, last few things for memory. Just remember reconstructive memory. Remember Elizabeth Loftus. You'll need to know that name. Elizabeth Loftus was looking into the accuracy of eyewitness. She found that it wasn't very accurate. People got things wrong based on their emotions, based on the way people ask questions, they would get things wrong. And so when that kind of goes back to this reconstructive memory, where our memories can often be incorrect. They can be misremembered, and just because we're like, oh no, I'm sure this is the way it was, doesn't mean that we are necessarily accurate. So Elizabeth Loftus, reconstructive memory, and eyewitness testimony. Make sure you have those three concepts uh, really well tied together. Make sure you know them. Okay, state-dependent memory. Just talking about how our memory is um, affected by how we're feeling. It's also affected by where we are. Like, there's lots of like, our memories are very much uh, influenced by our surroundings and how we're feeling, and all the other stuff that is going on. So that's state dependent memory. Okay, so now we're looking at why we forget stuff. Where does it all go? So first, we have the decay theory, argues that forgetting is caused by the passage of time. So we didn't really talk about this much, but I love this idea. A physiological, so like a physical memory track is laid down when a memory is made. So just like to give you an idea, so we have these cells in our brain and in our body called neurons, and we'll talk about these later. But neurons basically allow our brain to send messages to different parts of our body. And when we are attempting to remember something, um, a neuron track is laid down, like like fibers and axons are like branching out and making connections. And so what ends up happening is, one of the issues with this decay theory is that there's like a there's no like physical mechanism, there's no physical way of like really describing like what is happening. Like, those neurons aren't like disappearing, if that makes sense. They're not like decaying physically. And so this decay theory is actually something that's kind of like debated. Like, is that really what is going on, that just time kind of like elapses? I mean, it feels like, yeah, that's exactly what happens. Like, I try to remember something from 3 years ago and I can't remember. So something that's still like, what is actually, like, what is very specifically happening in these instances. So okay, next we have interference theory. Argues that retrieval failure occurs when established associations conflict, so established like memories or knowledge conflict with what we are trying to recall. So we have two different types, proactive and retroactive. I kind of just lumped them together. You're not going to need to know the difference of proactive versus retroactive. It's not important. Just know that interference, we're talking about something is getting in the way of you trying to recall a memory. And lastly, we have repression theory. This is from Siggy Freud. Basically, we have these memories that are painful or traumatic, and they get buried into our unconscious mind, and that's why we can't remember them. Okay, cool. So that is okay, so that's kind of like that first section of the content. That is your memory section. So before I kind of like move on, that took a little bit. That was kind of one of our bigger sections. The other stuff's going to go a little bit faster. But I wanted to see if anyone had any questions about what we talked about before. If yeah, it just I'm going to pause for like a minute or two to see if you guys have anything. Questions? Or are we doing okay? Are we ready to move to the next section? And while I'll do that, I can introduce you to Teddy. Teddy, come here. Come here, bud. So this is my dog, Teddy. He's not. Come over here. You want to come up? Come on. No, I think he's a little shy today. So this is Teddy. This is my dog. His full name is Theodore Roosevelt, but he's never really like lived up to the name, and so he's just Teddy. So he's a good dog. We like him. He'll join us on air every once in a while just to say hello. He's a little tired right now. We went running earlier, right, Teddy? How was that? He had so much fun. That's his favorite thing in the world. Okay. Is repression, decay, and interference the only theories for forgetting? Eliza, no. But they're the three theories that we need to care about. We don't care about the other ones. So that's what you'll need. Sam, you can say hello to your mother for me. She sounds like it. I'm glad she said hello. So so Elias, your dog's name is Teddy too? Nice. Good call. It's a good name. It's a good name. Teddy's real name is, like I said, is Theodore Roosevelt, but he doesn't really live up to it, so we just call him Teddy. He's a good dog. Hello, Hannah. He is a good dog. Yes, indeed, Miriam, indeed. He now wants to go outside, so give me 1 second. Teddy made coming here worth it. I think most students hopped on the stream to see Teddy. So, are you coming back? Did you want to come back? They want an encore. Come on, come up here. Here you go. Come on. I know you want to go outside. And no, proactive and retroactive interference won't be on the quiz. So, will we need to know George Sperling's? No, you won't. No. So Naveen, one of the things that you're like stumbling on is kind of the difference between the AP exam and my content. So if you get an opportunity, look at the outline of all of the content that's supposed to be covered, and when you're missing out on like we've we've already missed 2 days, and you think about all the stuff I have to cram in. Sometimes I'm gonna skip over things like that. And then later on, like that last week, I bring like last week we do review. I kind of bring that up and we talk about some of those things just because it's just crazy trying to cram in all of this content and try to keep the class at least mildly interesting. So if generally speaking for quizzes, if I haven't talked about it in class, it won't be on the quiz. So you don't have to worry about it. So okay, so I'm going to bring us back to the stuff, and then we will get after it again. So let's get back to the notes section. Okay, so let's get to thinking, problem solving, and all of that jazz. Okay, so first things first, when we are thinking about cognition, our thought processes, the thing that we need to pay attention to are concepts and prototypes. So remember that concepts are ways that our brain makes our life easier. We have a very complex world, and we can't remember all of it. We can't think about all of those things. And so concepts are ways that we break down similar information. We kind of clump it together. Okay. And so prototypes are a part of those concepts. They are our best example of that object or that concept. So I'm talking about the same thing again, but when I'm thinking about dogs, I think about Teddy. That's my prototype. That's the dog that I have, and that's what pops up into my head. Oh, okay. I agree. It should be a whole year class, but it's not. And I think the nail just got put on the coffin earlier this year because they are putting in like a research class, and oftentimes people who want to make psychology a full year course, they pair it with that research class. But the research class, this I think is going to be taught by Mr. Brownson, and it's a full year course. So we are up a creek without a paddle. Ion, yes. The I, Ion, I won't use the 9 dot example to um, as like a quiz question or a test question, but you will see examples all the time on quizzes and tests. I I try not to put too many like, oh, what is the definition of this? Oftentimes, it's like some sort of example or some sort of situation where those things are tied in, and so you'll get that. So it's always good, Ion. It's always good to keep them in mind. It's always good to keep them in mind. Okay, uh, so when solving problems, we have algorithms or heuristics. Easy enough. Remember, algorithms are those formulas. You follow those formulas and you get the right answer, but sometimes they're really clunky and they take a lot of time, and so they just don't always work. They're great when you are setting up furniture or following a how to change a tire or change the oil on your car. For certain things, they're great, but they don't always work, and they're kind of bulky, and um, it just takes a lot of time. So, but in the end, you'll get the correct answer. Most often, we use heuristics. Okay, heuristics. Um, Eliza, the examples will be new examples. I try not to double dip. Um, because when you think about the AP exam, I'm not writing the AP exam that you guys are taking in May. Nothing that I do will affect it. So I don't want you to get too used to my version of psychology, my viewpoint. Okay, so yeah, so those are heuristics. You won't always get the correct answer, prone to errors, but it's faster and more efficient. Okay, representative heuristics. Remember, judging a situation based on how similar they are to our prototypes. So remember, going back to our prototypes, these are our best image, best example, and so you get a lot of concepts like uh, prejudice and stereotypes that are tied together or happen because of these representative heuristics. Okay, so confirmation bias, mental set, self-imposed limitations, functional fixedness. These are all examples of um, hurdles to problem solving. Confirmation bias, when we're looking at evidence that shows us, hey, this is exactly what I thought, and then we ignore everything else. Anything that goes against it. You might have a dress that you really like, and you're trying on the dress and you really like it, and you go and you're like, hey, what do you think? You show your friend, one of your friends, and your friend's like, oh, you know what, I just don't really they don't like something about it, and we might be like, um, you might ignore it, or um, just go look for someone else's advice. Wendy, Mr. Monk, can you answer Ion D's question? Did I not answer? I did answer. I did. Do we need to know how examples? Oh, yeah, I already answered that, Wendy. If you want to go back, you can listen to, but I already answered that question. So, the answer is yes, but also no. Like, I won't use those specific types of examples, but you'll need to know. You'll need to know. Um, you'll need to know how a term is applied in a situation, not just its you know, not just its dictionary definition. Okay, so um, okay, self-imposed limitations. I skipped mental set. So tendency to fall into established thought patterns. When we are solving things, we often don't stick with it, or we often stick with our original kind of thought process, and we don't think through, hey, these are other options to look at. So, self-imposed limitations, limiting ourselves when attempting to solve a problem, oftentimes, as it says, for no good reason. This is when we think that we can't do something, or we think that there are. Yes, mental set is the jumper cable thing. Yep. Question I am. Uh, self-imposed limitations, like we don't think that we're the best at this, or we don't think we are good enough to do this thing, and we just really need to give it a go. And lastly, functional fixedness. Yes, Jesse. Yes, to your question. Not creativity. Creativity is not a hurdle to problem solving. Creativity is actually a great way to get around problem solving. People who are creative often are really good at solving problems. And finally, for hurdles, we have functional fixedness, inability to use see a new use for an object. So, I want to walk my dog Teddy, but I don't have my leash with him. Well, my keys have a lanyard on them, which is a short string. But if I really need to take Teddy for a walk, all I need to do is tie Teddy up with the lanyard, and then I'm there to go. So if I didn't see that, that would be functional fixedness. So creativity, once again, just remember, almost impossible to define. Little correlation between creativity and intelligence. Just know those gaps. Okay. Cool. Okay, just make sure you know these terms: phonemes, morphemes, grammar, syntax, all that jazz. Make sure you know the difference between these theories. Specifically, when we are looking at the social learning theory and Chomsky's nativist theory, make sure you know, like where they disagreed on. B.F. Skinner was looking at, how reinforcement and punishment got kids to remember information when they were praised for it, and how punishment helped them, taught them, hey, well, we can't say that in this situation, or we can't say that here. And this was just all part of that learning process. And this is how they learn language. And then when you get to Chomsky's like, no way, there's way too much information that these kids are picking up and remembering. Come on, Teddy. And sorry, I'm letting Teddy inside. So, and the problem is that, like, it doesn't account for everything that we have learned. And so Chomsky's like, nope, this is dumb. Like, there's just too much going on, and all that. And so he's looking at that inborn universal language acquisition device. He's really got to get a better name for it, because that's just crazy. Naveen, great question. They believe both. Like, there are aspects of both that are true. I think people will lean more towards the nativist theory, but they don't like it because of how vague it is. We recognize that people are picking up language at a rate that is beyond B.F. Skinner's social learning theory. Like, there's something like B.F. Skinner doesn't explain enough. He explains a good aspects that are true, but not like the real heart of what's going on. And the problem with the nativist theory is there's no, like, we don't have like the specific evidence of like what is this actually, like what is actually going on here. So great question, Naveen. Could a situation have multiple hurdles to problem solving? Oh, of course. Yeah, totes. Like, could a paratrooper also be an example of stuff? Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, Eliza, I will not be like actively trying to trip you up, if that makes sense. There will not be one where it's like, hey, there are two in this situation. There should be, if you know the concept well, it should be pretty well defined. So, good question, Eliza. Okay, last thing, Worf's linguistic relativity. Language determines the way that we think, and then you've got your little example of the Hopi tribe and using that past tense language. So this is also a concept that is like that is debated. People aren't 100% sure if that story is like really accurate, and Worf's linguistic relativity is kind of is a little up in the air. We wouldn't say that this is like grounded. This is exactly how it is, but there's definitely some stuff. Oh man, I got my first thumbs down, guys. I got my first dislike. Man, first video, I got a dislike. It's devastating. Devastating. I don't know how I'm gonna even cope tonight. Crazy. Okay, so um, so there we go. That is all of the concept. Dasal, was that you? I knew it. Get this kid out of here. Okay, so that is all of the that's all of the content. So I'm going to open this up. We still got plenty of time. We got 20 minutes. So I'm going to open this up for you guys. If you have questions, we'll do this for like 5 minutes. And if that kind of dies out, if you guys are done asking questions, I'll start answering questions to you guys, and I'll just like either post them to the comments, or I'll just say them, and then you guys can answer questions on the little chat thing, and we'll see how you guys are doing. Ooh, see, oh man, I just got 12 thumbs up, and then it went down to 11, and now I've got 2 dislikes. Oh, devastating. Shane, we are definitely getting a quiz tomorrow. Hiba, if you don't study, they are difficult. That might be true, Ion, but we're still definitely having the quiz tomorrow. Mahira, what do you want me to go back? Oh, like post. You don't want to see my really cool. I got this really cool Austin High School jacket. Yeah, I can put it back up. Is there, Mahira? Is there a section that you wanted to look at specifically? Something that you wanted to see? I can show you something specific if you'd like, but otherwise, I'll just kind of go back to what we were talking about earlier. If we study the info and know how to apply it, we will be good. Yes, Hiba. It's too late, Dasal. It's too late. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hard is it? Shane, I'll be honest. Tomorrow's quiz is probably pretty easy. So, no, Mizba. Rigidity is what mental set is. It's yeah. Here's the first part. There you go. If you want me to scroll down, I can scroll down. Hey guys, these notes, this is on Schoology. This all this stuff is on Schoology. These cognition lecture notes, they're on Schoology. So I'm sorry, I don't know why I just blanked on that. Yep. Check Schoology for lecture notes. All right. Any questions, kiddos? Yep. Yeah, Mizba, did I answer your question? Yeah, quiz is multiple choice. Oh my gosh, Hiba. Crazy girl. Crazy. Yeah, normally I have my lecture slides up, but I don't know why it's acting all goofy today. I've literally if Dasal can vouch for me. I used to do this all the time with the lecture slides, but for some reason it's just not working today. Sunny, what's up, bud? Bavia, how are you, girl? Good to see you guys. Yes, Bavia, the test is still on the 25th. There's just going to be a little bit less on it, and like I'm cutting out the FRQs. Like tomorrow, we're gonna spend 25 minutes taking our quiz, and then boom, we're done. You're turning it in, and we're getting on with lecture because we've got to move forward. So, oh, Sunny, good question. Yeah, Sunny, the last 2 things that I just talked about when the Worf's linguistic relativity and Chomsky's nativist theory, those are the 2 things I didn't talk about. So Yep. So, yep. Which is so frustrating. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working today. So, it does not like me. I don't know. So, I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm not doing anything different. I'm using the same computer. So, application window, language PowerPoint. So I have it up. It just won't, like, I'm changing it on my screen and it's changing. It's not being dumb. I'm gonna have to figure this out because this is gonna be, I'm not about this life. I gotta get this solved. So I don't know. Okay, cool. So questions. Um, but Dasal, is it like changing? Like yes, you can see the slides, but I'm changing the slide pages and it's not moving. See, I'm like way down. I'm on the representative heuristics, and you can see my mouse moving all over the place, like doing stuff, but it's still showing. It doesn't show the changes. So, or it just did it there. Golly, I don't know what's wrong. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you see my mouse move, but yeah, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's dumb. I'll um I'll figure it out. Maybe, probably not. Okay, cool. Okay, so let me ask you guys some questions. Urim. Urim. Hmm. All right. Sorry, I'm pulling up some old database, old questions. Um. Okay. So. Oh no. Why is this? Okay. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm like trying to copy paste something and then it's like exploding over here. Okay. Oh, man, let me answer your question before I move forward. How does language learning affect the way we think? Okay, so Amir, good question, but that's not what Worf's linguistic relativity is really talking about. It's not talking about how we learn language. It's just talking about what language does. So language overall affects the way that we think, not just the process of learning something. Uh, ooh, slow down. Navina, are you answering this question? Thinking is composed of thoughts, which can be concepts or images. You don't necessarily. That is true. You do not need a language in order to have thoughts or concepts. We'll brush on serial killers, Mizba, but not fully. Okay, Amir, you're good. You are satiated. Yep. No, Aryan, I do not miss you at all. Especially when you call me Miss Monk, because spelling is hard. Nope, it wouldn't cause a mental disorder. So, okay, all right. Here's a question for you. Too late. Too late. Ms. Bywin, don't get like don't overthink it. Like here, here you go. Here's a list of phonemes. Like don't try definitely don't overthink this like what is a phoneme. It is literally just whoa. It is literally just this. Like these are like this is the list of like it's this once again the smallest unit of language. Okay, that's I mean that's all that's going on here, and these are like this is just like how it like sounds and what the different pronunci like ways to like really kind of like look at it and pronounce it. So you have all these letters, and then you have So don't don't overthink what it is. Just know that it's the smallest measurement um, of sound. So I yeah, I mean that's all we're looking at here. So okay. Um, okay. Yes. No, it's very true. So why? So no. So yes. So very specifically, remember when we're talking about this kind of concept, like a person's assuredness, they're like, I know this is true, has nothing to do with whether or not they are accurate. So yeah, this is definitely looking at the eyewitness testimony. Elizabeth Loftus. Good, 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 good. Okay, let me get you another question. Um, nice and easy. All right, next question's been posted. On, what are you confused about, girl? Yeah, with representative heuristics. Go on. What is your question about representative heuristics? I do need an answer to this, guys. Good, Jesse. That is correct. Yes, 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 yes. You guys are so smart. Good. Shane, more specific. More specific. Taylor loved rocking chairs. It was the first chair she thought of. She would often stand rather than sit in chairs that did not rock. This is an example of a prototype. Yes, yes. Close but no cigar. Oh, you need representative heuristics, stereotypes, racism. Those are like those are like the big time examples um, of representative heuristics. So, um, you know, when you are attempting to solve a problem, it's that the that example, that best kind of example that comes to mind. So, does that do you Anne, is that good, or do you need something else? Okay, next question. Oh no, I just posted that. No, no, I'm sorry, I haven't copy and pasted the other one. Oh, I'm sorry, not that one. You just had that. Okay, here we go. Next question. Uh, Bam. Okay, thank you, Ron. Yeah. Bavia, good one. Yes, girl. Yes, Anne. Yes. 33% slow rate. Good. Yes. Pay attention. Pay attention to the question. Based on Ebbinghouse's work, when we learn something new, the information that we hold on to for more than a day decays at what rate? So after a day, how long? How long are we holding on to that information? Shane, thank you for being a new subscriber. Appreciate it. Okay. So very important to read those questions properly. Okay. So this question is going to have to come at you in two sections. Okay. Okay. Next question. Yep. After the first day, it's going to slow. Remember, at the beginning, you have full retention, and then it dives down. It just drops that first day, and then after that first day, the stuff that you hold on to, we retain that information. All right. There's the next question. Functional fixedness. Very good. Very, very good. Yes, functional fixedness is what I'm looking for. Okay. Functional fixedness, guys. Good, good, good. Okay, here we go. Next question. Bam. That's the first part. All right. There we go. Good, guys. Good, good, good. You guys are on top of this. Yeah. Semantic distinctiveness. Good. Good, good, good. Shane, Amir, Misbah, Lori, perfect. Naveen, Hira, good. Semantic distinctiveness. Yep. Shane, don't shush. Everyone needs to study. Everyone needs to study. All right. Here we go. Last question. And then I'm going to bed. Last question. Hardest one of the night, I think. Bam. First part. Second part. There we go. 70% of students in a classroom are women and 30% are men. One student is described as ambitious, athletic, and assertive. Why are most people likely to think this description refers to a male student? What concept? What concept is being talked about here? What concept? Yes, representative heuristics. Good. So Dasal, like you're on the right track because prototypes are representative heuristics are based on prototypes. But good, good. Bravo, everyone. Good. That's what I'm looking for. Representative heuristics. Excellent. Okay. So that's going to wrap it up for questions, guys. Those kinds of questions are that's what a lot of my questions look like. So yeah, there we go. So any last questions before we sign off? Good with representative heuristics. Yes, yes, yes. Good. Good, 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 good. Arigato, Shane. Arigato. Au revoir. Ciao, ciao. Adios. Yeah, remember and chunking. Sure. Teddy, come here. No problem, Misbah. No problem. Teddy, come. So guys, just I don't know where'd he go? He ran off. He's on the couch. Teddy, come. You guys should see him right now. He's slinking over here. He was on the couch. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Teddy, come on. He's really good at like coming immediately, but he's in trouble right. He's in trouble right now. Okay. This is gonna take him forever to come over here. He's so ashamed. He's so ashamed right now. So, okay, guys. No problem. Yeah, thank you, Shane. Yeah, like pairing two bits of information together, in order to help you remember it. It's like that toss and tired thing that we learned about yesterday. Yes, thank you, Shane. You are the man. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you guys taking the time. I hope this was helpful for you guys. And if it was, please let other people know. If you do well tomorrow, you can be like, learned it all on the stream. Yeah. Okay, guys. Y'all have a great night. Make sure you get some sleep. Go to bed. Don't stay up too late. Okay. Have a good one.